Welcome back. You're still watching Good Morning Namibia. As we start off with the conversations in the second hour of the show, the city of Windhoek will be renaming a Feld Street in Ausspanplatz in Windhoek today in honor of Sir Seretse Khama, who is the founding president of the Republic of Botswana. Now, the renaming ceremony will be attended by President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, Advocate Duma Boko, President of the Republic of Botswana, and Lieutenant General Seretse Khama, who is the former president of the Republic of Botswana, and also other delegates and invited guests. To enlighten us more on this, we're joined by the spokesperson of the city of Windhoek, Lydia Amotenya. Good morning, Ms. Amotenya, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
It's been a minute since
Indeed,
we've had you in studio. How's everything going?
No, we are doing very well, and how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Okay.
Kindly just give us an overview of the process that happens when a street gets a new name.
Yes, when a street gets a new name, we have quite a guideline in place. We call it street and place naming and renaming guideline, and that guideline is approved by the city council. So what then happens is that they start with a formal application that can be from an individual institution or from a community group proposing as a proponent on the street to be named after a certain person or certain individuals. And then that is reviewed by the street and place naming or renaming committee. And then they look at issues like culture, history, and also maybe national significance or regional significance, like in this case. And then the recommendation then goes to the management committee of the City of Windhoek, and then the management committee will then recommend it to council for approval or consideration. Obviously, once council is approved, then the matter is then communicated to the public. Obviously, we have what we call a placement in the paper to indicate that the decision of such nature was taken by council. If there's anyone who has any objection in that matter, can put the objection forward, and then after that, then the process is done. So that is the final stage, is actually that one of communicating to the public about the decision of council.
So how long does the entire process take?
Yeah, the entire process can take several months. Sometimes it takes longer. It depends on the completeness of the application or the submission that has been put forward. But also what also sometimes takes very long is the consultation part, because, for instance, if somebody propose a name to be a street or a certain place to be named after someone, you still have to consult that particular person to get their consent, and obviously you have to fill in all the gaps in the process to make sure that when it comes to the approval structure, all these details, all these consultations have actually been taken care of. And obviously then the documentation and then preparing the submission to council and so forth. So we as a council or the City of Windhoek is having the final approval authority whether to approve or to reject the proposal that is coming through for a name change. So then we have our internal processes as well. Obviously, we in this committee, it's not only City of Windhoek that sits on it, so we also have some members of the public representing the various groups that are sitting on this one. So we have to have meetings for you to be able to prepare that submission to go through the proper structure for approval.
Yeah, but what would you say are some of the challenges that people face when streets are renamed?
Well, there are temporary challenges which I can attribute to a name change. Obviously, when your name is changing, a lot has to change. It's part of your identity. So you have, if it's a business, you have to change your letterheads. Some of the people have their names on their stamps that also need to change. You need to inform your service providers so that they know your new name or your new location. And also, it also have an impact on your accounts because you have to change all that, as well as your the navigation system now. That is your GPS and all that. Everything now need to change to be able to accommodate the current or the new name that has been changed. But obviously, I feel that is a temporarily challenges, but obviously once a name is placed, and the city obviously also provides that information to the clients, we notify you formally about the name change so that you can start working on changing all this. Yes, that is a bit of a pain point, but the long term is that you are going to be in a street that is associated with one of the most influential person in the continent.
Yeah, now speaking of that, why is the street being renamed after so many years? And what impact will this have on the current residents, of the street? Apart from the challenges, of course, of GPS, and now I have to change, my address. Yeah, talk to us as to why the street is being named after such a long time.
Yeah, this renaming is actually to implement the council decisions of 1997. This decision came a bit of a long way ago, and it was then reaffirmed by the Maharero Royal Authority application that came in 2015, and then thereafter the council decision of 2018. So there's quite a bit of history to it, but it's an honor for Namibia's historical ties with Botswana, and we are celebrating Sir Seretse Khama legacy. He is his contribution to Southern Africa, as well as the formation of SADC, and obviously the unit and the development in the continent, especially in the region, the Southern African region. Those are some of the key highlights, also motivated by the applicant or the proponent on the submission to council. So it's things that we can all relate to. History doesn't. They say history doesn't lie. Yeah. What you get to see and experience, it's one thing, and that is exactly what is happening here. So the minimal impact in terms of street changes, address and updates and so forth. But as I mentioned, it brings a symbolic pride to residents in this particular street, like that is linked to a regional iconic leadership that most of us are actually very proud to be associated with.
Yeah. Yes. We got a traffic update yesterday from Sergeant Nobezo Shipanga. He mentioned that the street closed early yesterday, and he was just giving an update, to all the motorists and also just the residents to keep an eye out that the street will be closed. So what time will the official opening, be starting?
Okay, this event starts in the afternoon. That is shortly from 12 o'clock. We're starting to see some arrivals. But I just quickly wanted to mention that Feld Street is quite a significant street in this whole process. Significant in the sense that apart from the fact that it's 850 meter long, it's also surrounded by various streets that are named after African leaders such as Julius Nyerere. That was also a renaming that was done a few years ago. I'm proud to have been part of that event as well. And all these streets are intersecting either with Sam Nujoma, Kenneth Kaunda, Nelson Mandela, and in the surrounding. So the renaming continued as a city tradition of celebrating African leadership and heritage. So the theme areas in this area of Ausspanplatz and the surrounding, it's themed around African leaders that are named after those streets. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. Yeah. So it's just an addition to the existing theme, and obviously we are putting all these leaders intersecting within each other, because these streets are actually intersecting with each other. And as we mentioned, Sir Seretse Khama is a pioneer and has a legacy to the SADC formation, and also the pioneer that reflects values in peace, unity, and cooperation that is shared by Namibia. So we are really proud of this achievement, and we are happy that this event is taking place today, and we have all our leaders in present that will be present, as well as the Khama family to be represented also by the former president. So it's an exciting moment for all of us, and we believe as African, we are one person, and Botswana is just our neighbor just across the street.
Exactly. And seeing that it's also happening in collaboration with the Namibia-Botswana Binational Commission that's taking place this week. Yes. But when should the residents of the street update their physical addresses details at the City of Windhoek? Should they do it as soon as possible?
Yes, the city has actually already informed the residents or
Okay.
provided a notification to the residents and the business
Mm-hmm.
for them to start already working on that, because as of today, that street name change from Feld Street to Sir Seretse Khama Street. So we have provided all the relevant support in terms of the documentation that they can utilize or they can make use of to go and change whatever they have to change. So I think it will not take long. Obviously, it depends on the type of business or the type of changes that you want to make. But that assistance the City of Windhoek can provide to those that need it. But the notification has already been made to those affected in that particular streets.
All right. Well, Ms. Mtenya, anything else you'd like to bring to our attention before we let you go?
No, I'm just saying, inviting the public to follow the proceedings. I'm sure NBC will be in attendance. Definitely also there are various live stream across the various platforms of City of Windhoek, Ministry of Information and Communication Technology. So we really want to make sure that you are not left behind by this beautiful ceremony celebrating a very well-lived life by our former president and founding president of Botswana, Sir Seretse Khama, who is now having a street in the street of Windhoek.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us and all the best with the event.
Thank you so much.
All right.